your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared?
Hello, weirdos. Are we starting a few minutes early? This is definitely new for the Weird Whatever podcast. We're usually 5 minutes late. No Ryan Beckett, but we have everyone else here. We've got your Vicky, we've got your Birdney, you've got your producer Denny's. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
How's it going?
Hey.
Great to see my old friends. We're going to have some great fun today. We have a lot to cover. Just so you know, you guys have an assignment today. In a few minutes, everyone's going to let the audience know in 10 seconds or less what you've been up to since we've been on our break. So
All
let
right.
that marinate. Let that kind of fill up your brain. Vicky, right off the bat, any new ghost stories you'd like to tell? You are our psychic medium. Any new ghost stuff?
Yes, actually, Point Paranormal, we are now affiliates of the Paranormal Clergy, which is kind of a big deal. So I'm pleased to announce that we were approached by the clergy and we are now an official affiliate.
Woo,
Okay, so
woo.
will you go a little bit deeper on that? What does that mean? Is that like a VIP kind of a thing with all ghosts?
It's basically respected teams that have established protocol through the years that they have proven themselves as a team who's really out there to help people. If a case comes to the Paranormal Clergy and it's in your area and you're an affiliate, your job is to investigate like you normally would, but your report goes to the clergy. Then they decide if it's demonic in nature. If it is, they take over. If it's not demonic, then you just continue doing what you would do as your own team and have follow up and try to find some solution for the client.
Now, are you allowed to be involved in exorcisms at all? Because we've got an email, somebody that wants us to go a little bit more in depth with exorcisms, what they are, and when to look for demons versus ghosts.
Right. I've never been involved in an exorcism. That's not my area of specialties. That wouldn't be what I would be doing on the clergy. Mine is to do the research and all the investigation to see if that is the type of haunting that you're dealing with.
Oh, look who joined us. Mr. Pretty Boy, Ryan Beckett joins the show.
Drinking
Wow.
Modelo.
That's right. You saw that? But I
Yeah.
got it in the Camelback.
Been
Oh, wow.
How's it
Welcome
going,
back.
guys? Missed you guys.
We miss you.
a while.
I see
Yeah.
your hair is the same.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing out on this long hair train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So let's go ahead and just jump right into it really quick. So if you've never listened to the Weird and Whatever podcast, we've got Ryan, Vicky, Denny's, Birdney, and myself. 10 seconds or less. Everyone's going to let everyone know what you've been doing during our hiatus. Vicky, you're going to be going first. And go.
I have been investigating and doing readings. I don't need 10 whole seconds.
Ah.
She's a pro.
You don't need it.
She's a pro. Very good. That's all she's been doing in the last 5 months. Birdney, go ahead and go.
Teaching, Twitch, Animal Crossing, and crying about life. There we go.
Crying about what?
No, I'm just being facetious. Just
Okay. Beckett.
I just been trying to finish school, trying to get my dissertation across the finish line, and this real estate market's nuts. So I've been just trying to just keep up with the real estate market and just keep on living, man. That's all I do.
And Mr. Denny's.
Yeah, well, so obviously I got the house. I've been moving in. I've been tending to my shrimp. I bought this magnetic strip that I hang all my knives up now on the wall. So it's really cool. You walk in, you can just grab a knife off the wall. It's probably like my big project.
Very good. I love it. And just for me, bought a new house. Chewy passed away. And that's really kind of been my focus the last couple months. We're gonna delve into all that kind of stuff. We have a topic coming up when an animal passes away versus a human passing away. It really is a different kind of a thing. Different emotions involved, different feelings. There's some guilt involved, I feel like, but we will dive into all of that. I do want to talk about a little bit about with my place. People want to know if there's been any kind of a ghost situation here at my new place. And Vicky, Girl, we've got an active one here. We've got something going on here. What's that?
What a shock.
I know. I don't think anyone's.
Oh my.
I do want to talk about this piano you gave me. You
Okay.
gave me a piano, which, by the way, I love it. Very kind gift. It's beautiful in my place. I will say I've had about 2 or 3 experiences where I'm just chilling on my chair and it plays by itself. Now, it's not playing chords, but it does sound like something is tickling the ivories. It'll be like a diddling, diddling, as if I had a cat walk on it. What are your thoughts on something like that? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that would be connected to your mom, correct?
No, it's not a family heirloom or anything. I think we probably got the piano in 2014, 2015 from a family friend. And from the time until I gave it to you, we never once heard it play, ever.
Okay. So I hear something like that. What could that be?
Well, you could have something there that wants your attention, so it's just using the piano because it's something that makes noise.
Yes, I wish that was the only thing that was going on here. So can we book something with you, Vicky, soon here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you still have my DVR, by the way? When you moved, did you take it with you?
I did. I did not leave it back in 1984.
Hey,
It's
You
lost
know-
forever.
Point does accept donations of equipment if you want to bring us up to 2021.
I think
Just
we
saying.
get something updated, absolutely, for sure. Yeah. The other thing I did want to say that the major experience that I did have at my place. Now I've slept in my bedroom 3 different nights. That's all since I've been here. There was a night where I was laying in my bed and something long came out of my closet and went over me and then went through my window. It was definitely something of like a shadow looking kind of a person, Vicky. Now, I will say this. I feel like I have a stripe of some different color on the side of my head. There's no dye in my hair. I do have some gray, but there is a weird stripe on the side of the right side of my head. And I would like you to examine it in person, Vicky, to see if it's got any kind of, I don't know, ghost remnants, if you will. Because after that had happened, I had felt something kind of itchy on my head, and there's a streak there. So I would like us to maybe delve into that in person.
Okay, whenever you're ready, just let me know.
I mean, I don't know, weird whatever party. Are you guys cool with coming on over?
Yeah,
I'm down.
I get my second shot soon.
Yeah, me too.
Party.
You guys already got vaccinated?
Yeah,
You got the
first.
first shot. Yeah. Usually it's 2. So good times.
Okay, very good. Well, I think on, so Vicky, any thoughts on what I've told you? If you were my ghost teacher, which you are, and I'm giving you a report, what are your thoughts?
Well, I noticed the similarities between the closet and something coming from the closet to your bed. So my first thought in your report is that, are we still dealing with the same thing because it had formed such an attachment to you?
People ask this question. If it was the same kind of entity from the last place, did it travel with me in the car? Did it attach to me on my body? Did it, I don't know, do some kind of a time travel thing with its mind? How would a ghost from a previous place travel to a new place miles away?
Well, you're talking the difference between ghost and what was at your other place, because I don't call it a ghost. So if you're talking about an attachment, which is what you had, it was with you everywhere you went.
So when I go to Publix and I get sweet coleslaw, it's with me.
Laughing, probably, I don't know, but it's there.
So I misunderstood Jason's comment when he said he had a fear of attachment. He didn't mean ghosts.
I mean, even my shirt says I need some space.
I love it. I didn't even see that. I love it.
Birdney, you're over there awfully quiet.
My dog was barking, so I had to mute myself.
elaborate what's new going on in your life? Any new science stuff that we need to be aware of?
Any new science things? Not really science stuff. I'm curious. I do have like a weird thing happening in my life where I have the number 3 following me everywhere. And I'm not really sure, maybe Vicky knows stuff about that. I'm not really into numerology or know much about it, or if you see numbers all of a sudden everywhere. And it was a little thing like on my Twitch channel where it was 3, but now I'm seeing consistently 3 everywhere. Like I'll look at something and it's 333, or I'll look at how much smiles I have. Like I'll never look at my dashboard and I'll see 333 on my dashboard. So that is something weird going on in my life that I'm not sure if it's science related, but.
There's something to that. I feel like when numbers are jumping at you, these are signs that maybe we're not in tune to. Vicky, thoughts on any kind of number stuff?
Well, a couple different theories. She's specifically saying the 333, anything in threes is a mocking of the Trinity. So, not to scare you, but I would pay attention. But I also believe that when we start noticing a certain number, we're almost like psychically in tune to glance at something at that exact same time. And then we tend to put a little too much importance in thinking it was a coincidence and it was meant to be, which I think your body just becomes trained to glance over at 333.
So yeah, hopefully it's not that. So 333 would be demonic, is what you said? It's like the mocking of the Trinity?
Yeah, anything in threes, you look for 666, which is the mark of the beast, and also anything with threes, because 3 is the mocking of the Trinity. That's why when we do investigations, we look for things if it's 3 knocks or it's 3 this or 3 that. It's just a number that inhuman spirits use.
What does it
We're
mean?
both haunted.
What does it mean if you keep seeing 69 everywhere? You bought, I don't know. You bought.
It means you're horny.
69 showing up everywhere.
Nice. That's really nice.
Birdie, it's interesting for you to bring up the number 3. I've got a very odd relationship with the number 3. Number 3, from a certain point of view, drove me to therapy as a child.
Oh, wow. This is getting deep.
Well, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to Ryan Seacrest you guys. We're going to delve into that next week. Call that teasing with meat. And
there's a lot of good stuff with the number 3 though.
Hold on, Becky. Well, sorry, I was getting ready to introduce Denny's random facts, but I thought you were saying something. Go ahead.
I was just saying there's a lot of good stuff with the number 3 too. I mean, the Holy Trinity is 3. Jesus died at 33. The Scottish Rite, a number of the Freemasons, is denoted by the number 33. My lacrosse number was 33.
Oh, it's obviously good.
A good number.
But there's a lot of good things, not just at least that I'm as a layperson aware of, that 3 signifies positive things. I don't think it's always negative.
Yeah, I've never viewed 3 as like a negative. That's why it's interesting. I guess it makes sense that it would be mocking, but
yeah, that's why demonics use it, is because it does have holy connections to it.
I see.
Could it be positive though? Could it be like a good sign? Like the good people are telling me 333?
It's leaning towards bad, but maybe.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to 2021, everyone.
And on that note, threesomes are never good. Someone always gets left out.
Okay. Moving on.
Well, there's some good names involved. Beckett said Jesus himself.
They didn't retire that number after you, Beckett?
No, not at all.
It also looks like boobs or a butt on the side. That's what I noticed.
I dare you to play all 3s in the lottery, see if you win. Maybe it's lucky. Who knows?
I should do it just for the shits and giggles. So
okay, let's move on, guys. What do you guys think about these random facts?
Let's jump into it.
Okay, well, if you are playing at home for the first time, sweet producer Denny's gives us a series of random facts. Vicky, our educator, grades them. If it's great, it's an A. If it's terrible, she gives that little bitch an F. Denny's, the floor is yours.
All right, I got a couple cool ones, kind of random ones here for you, and one to maybe spark some conversation. But let's start with this nice, just fun one for you guys. The origin of marshmallows, which I actually hate, by the way. I don't know if anyone of you guys likes marshmallows. I'm not personally a fan. Yeah, they're pretty gross. But anyway, they originated in ancient Egypt. The Egyptians would use the mallow plant that grew in the marshes to create a soothing sap for their sore throats. The roots of the mallow plant would create gooey substances that they would boil and mix with honey, which they called marshmallows. And then through just etymology and time, it became marshmallows. What do you think? Sorry,
I like
bring
it.
my audio back.
It seems
Nice,
like,
fun one.
it seems like the crew likes it. Vicky, what do you give that?
It's good. I'm not wild. I'm gonna go with a B.
Yeah, I like it.
I love marshmallows, actually. I love a moon pie. I think moon
Ugh.
pie is such an underrated little snack. No.
I'm not a marshmallow guy. They kind of gross me out.
I'm not a big marshmallow guy, but there's something about a campfire s'more. I don't know that there's a candy that can beat real campfire marshmallow s'more.
It is fun to cook them.
Yeah.
Beckett, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you speaking at all for the candy community with a body like yours. I'm not comfortable.
That's fair. As an outsider, I'm a fan. So, but I'll yield to everyone else on that.
We're talking about s'mores. Go ahead, Denny's.
Well, here's something that probably would creep out Bird, but there's a guy named Neil Harbison who has an antenna permanently attached and implemented into his skull, which allows him to feel colors, receive data from the internet, satellites, and much more. He's actually considered the world's first cyborg. And in 2010, he co-funded the Cyborg Foundation, an international organization to defend the rights of cyborgs and promote cyborg art and help support people who want to, in the future, become cyborgs. What do you
I
think?
mean, obviously, my first question to Birdney would be, Birdney, would you date a cyborg?
Sure, why not?
What do you think about implanting things into your brain?
I hate it.
What if it gave you luxuries? You know, things now we used to hate when smartphones first came out because we're like, oh, what do I need the internet on my phone for? Oh, what do I need apps for?
You're gonna get hacked.
Give
You're
me an
gonna-
example and make it sexy for me.
An example? Well, so just even carrying internet around. Remember before even text messages, when they used to call it cost like $1 every time you sent one? So when texting became natural and became free, I guess you could say, is when it became common. That changed the entire cellular world, in my opinion. That's when the BlackBerry started blowing up, and that's when all the Palm Pilots merged into cell phones and started the era of the smartphone, which then they just keep adding more stuff to it. And you could actually blame probably Apple for adding so much stuff to them. But instead of carrying it around in our hand, which is cumbersome, and makes us look like losers when we're filming stuff, it's actually implanted in your brain, and you can experience everything and record everything in real time without, losing your appendages. Is it a good thing though?
There
That's the
was
debate.
that Black Mirror episode about that, where they could record everything that they were seeing, and then you could download it and then watch it. Did anyone see that episode?
Yeah, it was creepy, and that's how he found out his wife was
He
cheating.
was cheating on. Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Isn't that good though? Because now you know that your spouse is unfaithful. See, there's an example of technology actually benefiting you.
But the caveat was that people became obsessed with it because they were stuck looking back at their memories than living in real life. And so consistently, I think the most powerful scene was when they were having sex and both of them were like doing the thing, and they were thinking of other things or rewatching like when they had sex at the very beginning of their relationship.
But we see memes now where they show a picture of a couple sitting in bed facing away from each other.
Mhm.
They're laying in bed with each other. So, I mean, it's just the next, I guess, evolutional step. And if you think about the younger generation who gets it when they're kids and they're taught that it's normal, that's going to be normalized through their entire life. Each generation that goes by is going to get phased out with the beliefs that system is not good.
Okay,
Yeah.
Vicky, what do you think?
Well, since it sparked all this conversation, I got to go ahead and give it an A.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
and Beckett, it's getting to the point where you are going to be able to have sex with a robot and no one's going to judge you.
Stoked.
Well, it's already starting. They're fighting for cyborg rights.
Well, girls have sex toys. I mean, those are machines. How can you say that's not a cyborg?
And men have sex toys.
Like what?
Fleshlight dog.
Don't make us say it.
True.
Pocket pussy.
Don't pretend that you don't have one, Beckett.
I don't. I mean, if there was a great one, I'd love to have it. I just don't really think anything's mainstream for guys. I think it's more of an anomaly. I think it's more typical in a girl's nightstand than it is a guy's nightstand, is all I'm saying.
Beckett's too busy getting laid for any kind of a toy.
Mhm.
Well,
All right,
sometimes
think-
more than others.
I think there is a stigma though with it, because you tend to be right that you're more likely to find it on a female nightstand, just for example's sake, than a man admitting it. Why would that be? Why would that stigma be there?
If Birdney and Vicky had sex toys or sex robots, everyone would be like, oh, it's cool. But if Beckett, me, you walk in my room, you see my sex robot in the corner, people are talking, they're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be rough.
We totally get shamed for it.
It's almost shameful too that it's okay for us. It's almost like it's accepted that men can't please people. So they have toys. So it's like, that's why they need the toys.
Totally.
I never live in absolutes. Only a Sith lives in absolutes.
Yeah.
All right, Denny's, what else you got?
What do you feel about this concept? They did a study 2 years ago that with a bunch of subjects, and they found that the brain shields us from existential fear, categorizing death as an unfortunate event that only befalls others. In fact, it's very difficult for your own mind to conceptualize in moments of death and health that you're going to die yourself. It's mainly, it's a defense mechanism built into your brain that you feel other people, oh, that's not going to happen to me. People die in car crashes every single day, but not me. I'm not going to die in a car crash. And it's because your brain can't conceptualize it. In fact, the opposite of it, there's a psychological disorder where you always think you're going to die, which would be a malfunction, and that's the opposite of the effect. But they did a study 2 years ago that said that, yeah, your brain can't even conceptualize it. It protects you from feeling that you actually could die from something.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are obsessed with death. No? I mean, do you guys think about it a lot? Just say yay or nay. No? Vicky, you don't think about death a lot?
I don't think about mine. I think about other people's because I'm talking to spirits, but I don't think about mine.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'd imagine you're at peace with death because you have so much contact with the dead. I mean, I kind of feel like that way with me too. Just even with the ghost experience that I have, that alone gives me comfort that there's another level of something.
Absolutely.
I've
And our
always been
brains-
afraid.
Go ahead, Vicky.
Our brains, that's not the only time. Our brain does that all the time. It's thinking that it's protecting us. Just like when a person has been molested, your brain will repress those memories, or your brain will put the blame on somebody else. Let's say if it's a close family member that does it, your brain will twist it. It could turn it into a ghost that did it. It could turn it into, an imaginary friend or something else, other than for your brain to deal with the fact that this is happening to you and it's someone close to you. So our brain is all designed to try to protect us.
It is.
Yeah, and they also talk too about how, when you're dying, that's when you start to see, maybe your loved ones, or you have a euphoric feeling. You see some kind of you have a near-death experience where you see a vision. The naysayers who say that's not real, they always say it's, whatever that chemical is in the brain to protect you from all of the horrificness of death. It's to ease the shock. It's to relax you and almost kind of give you one last hell yeah ride before you exit the earth. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Well, Vicky?
I disagree, just because in readings, I've actually seen whoever has been assigned to come and get that person. I've been shown that when it's our time, there are people on the other side that are actually assigned to escort us over. I've seen them. So I don't think I'm just witnessing a chemical in someone's brain.
Yeah, my mom's best friend, when she was on her deathbed, she kept on saying about 30 minutes before she passed away, she kept on talking about how her mother and my mom were at the window kind of telling her to come along with her. And to me, that doesn't make me sad or depress me. It makes me feel comfort.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I
Yeah.
actually believe a little of both. I actually, it's really nice to hear what Vicky said, but I also, from the ayahuasca experience, they say one of the substances is DMT, which fires when you're born and when you die. And they attribute to that substance that already basically exists.
Lives in your brain.
It just fires really heavily at those two times of life. And that's what gives you the ayahuasca experience, but it also is what gives people the near-death experience. At least that's what science and a lot of researchers believe to be true.
I mean, I always think about that when, you hear these stories of someone getting murdered. Obviously, if they're getting stabbed to death in the beginning, it feels terrible. But you wonder, does it get to a point where they do go in more of a euphoric state towards the very, very end as they're leaving, so it's not so horrific? And is that just something naturally built into our DNA to protect us? That's what the naysayers would say if you do see some type of a spirit.
Right.
Denny's, good stuff. Very, very good.
Well,
Go ahead.
I saw a video on the internet. You can see it on YouTube, but if you look up near-death experiences, there's a bunch of people that have accounts of them, and you can read and watch through a bunch of them. But there was a scientist who was, I guess you consider him agnostic or atheist or whatever. And it was morally just so that he was into science and not necessarily into religion. And he had a religious experience when he had a near-death experience. But I've also read of religious people who have not had experiences like that and think that it could possibly be chemicals. So, I mean, I think it's really just how you interpret the next level is what is going to be projected to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky area that you can't really get an answer to. It's that great unknown question.
And nobody has the answer. And anybody who says they do, I think it's full of horse shit, right?
You can take solace in the fact that they don't have the answer.
Right.
I think we all have theories, right?
Yeah, I think theories are important. I think, I think you and I were talking about it, Bird, the other day, but just philosophy is such a peculiar, it definitely helps encourage the conversations. But philosophy is a tricky thing because you're basically getting somebody else to believe what you believe, or encouraging people or finding people that believe in a similar thing that you do. Or even just people like to read other people's philosophies on life because maybe they muse on just the philosophies, that there's so many or that they're so vast. And weirdly, a lot of them have a huge amount of connections to each other that almost seem like they're borrowed from the exact same story. And then you wonder what that is about. Why is it they're driven from so much the same?
I would agree with you, Denny's. I think Birdney would like this, but philosophizing, if that's a word, and theorizing is, almost dovetails with the scientific process, right? You have a hypothesis, you test it, and then other people poke holes in it. Like the theory of relativity, for example, of Einstein, all it was a theory. And then he even doubted it himself. And then it was proven after his death, a lot of his theories ended up to be true, even ones that he doubted end of life. So when you philosophize, it's nice because it's almost like hypothesizing in that you're saying, I believe this to be true, but then that's carried on, whether it's Socrates or Plato, and other people can say, hey, I'm going to build on this, or I'm going to poke holes on it and I'm going to prove it to be wrong. And that's kind of the beauty of the scientific process. And I think that's what's great about philosophy is that you can do your own philosophizing and you could come out with a different belief than when you started of the same person that's actually doing it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's always been a difference between faith and science too. They're two separate things, but
to me though, I think for a lot of people, if they're able to marry faith and science together, I mean, I always feel like it's always got to be all or nothing. Why can't it be a little bit of,
why
can't science and faith merge together and give you some kind of a theory?
It could be two names for the same thing, it's just interpreted differently.
Well, whether you believe in God or not, there is something to be said. Let's take God out of the equation just for this conversation, just for this example. There still is something to be said just about having faith, just some kind of just faith, no matter what, even though you don't know for sure something's going to work out, having faith that it is, that's a powerful thing, whether you believe in God or not. Now, I know faith is attached to God a lot of times, but I think having faith in something is a powerful thing. And I think sometimes we get kind of caught up as it being just a religious thing. I don't think it always has to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to an acknowledgement of something greater. That's all it really is. I mean, even if you take, like you said, take God out of the equation, there's still a lot of things here. I mean, there's still grass, there's still rain, there's still fire. Those are still very unexplainable things. And I know science explains them, but then you have to explain, all right, is it just because Mars used to be the prime spot? The sun is slowly dying, as we know, and now Earth is the prime spot. As the sun slowly dies, the next planet, Venus, will be the next, know?
Dog, it's just definitions. I get that we know what gravity is and we understand, we can explain it, but we still can't explain why this shit it's there, why it has to be, why that formula has to work that way for life to exist. I mean, it's an odd equation that nobody really knows what the hell it is, but they explain it like they do, but they don't know.
For sure, because life is essentially is a spark. It's a spark that allows something to exist and live. That concept alone is very difficult to wrap your head around. You can barely hear the dog.
Being a little kid, I remember asking my mom and dad, I go, what was here before, everything got here? How did it all start? What was the beginning part of it? And no one, boy, that was a tough question as a 6-year-old. No one has a damn answer.
Hey, go play with Legos.
I did want to talk about anniversaries. Anniversaries are an odd thing because I think they can be a joyous occasion. For some people, it's kind of a depressing thing. Here's an email we got from Kara that says, "Dear Weird Whatever, every year on my mother's death anniversary, I start to get really moody and agitated with people for no reason. I dread the month of March because it's always going to be the month for me where my mother was killed. She was murdered 5 years ago by her boyfriend. I try to do something positive when the anniversary comes around, but it's hard. I was wondering if anyone else struggles with the death anniversary of a loved one. What do you do to make yourself feel better? Struggling, Kara." That's a good point. I mean, I know for me, I don't look at Thanksgiving the same way because my mom died 2 days before Thanksgiving. Anniversaries are very powerful because it throws you right back in that moment. Vicky, do you have any advice for somebody struggling with the death of a loved one during an anniversary?
Well, it's a little difficult for someone to follow what I have done. I simply purposely forget when people died. I do not have a single death date except for my mother's in my head. And my mother, if she were here, she'd say, well, it's a good thing it happened on that day. That way you'd remember it, because she died on Prince's birthday. And so I remember Prince's birthday because I'm a huge Prince fan. But I would not remember the actual death date of my mom if it hadn't fallen on his birthday, because I have just chosen my entire life to block out and never remember those dates.
Do you have other symbolic things with anniversaries, a breakup, or even a happy moment? So you don't sweat anniversaries regardless.
No, I don't. I try not to think about them. Especially if it's traumatic, I try to forget what time of year it happened. I don't remember exact dates for deaths. It's to the point where a lot of deaths, I don't even remember what month it was.
You do understand, for some people, though, that would be hard for them to forget.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. My advice isn't going to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
But I saw my uncle who, after my grandmother passed away, he would literally suffer. I saw him suffering for like 25 years of his life on the anniversary of her death. And maybe as a child, that's what made me decide unconsciously to not remember those dates.
Well, I also bring up anniversaries because, and I've even felt it too before, with just people who have passed away in my life, I think there's also sometimes a guilt if you don't feel sad or if you happen to forget. So I think there's another set of emotions when it comes to anniversaries on that level. Beckett, you anniversary kind of a guy?
No, not in the positive or negative context. Not even relationships. I feel like it's a Hallmark holiday. I celebrate things. I love to be spoil my significant other when I have one, and I also anniversaries on the deaths thing. I don't really like to do that either. The only reason I remember some of my best friends' birthdays is I get a notification on Facebook. Quite frankly, maybe I should work on that. It's just not something that I really memorialize in terms of dates. So no, I don't do either.
So I think what a healthy, fun thing to do would be is to celebrate. If you're going to remember, you're gonna remember the anniversary anyway, make that a little celebration party. Get some tiki torches out. I don't know, fire up the barbecue. Let's get some pizza going, some garlic knots. Let's celebrate these. If we're gonna be depressed, shit, let's have some garlic knots in our stomach. Birdney, you an anniversary gal?
I am a big numbers person, so I've always just remembered dates and everything. Someone tells me their birthday, I can remember that type of thing. So, but is it something that, like certain anniversaries, maybe I would be upset if someone forgot something, but if they made it up in other ways, I wouldn't get too upset. But
well, speaking of anniversaries, it is 1990, and I always bring this case up every year. It's a case that's always bothered me. Birdney, if you don't mind, do you mind grabbing the Rachel Hurley picture just so the people can see what she looked like? Back in 1990, March 17th, Rachel Hurley was 14 years old, and she was sexually assaulted down in Carlin Park. Nobody, her assailant was never caught. They've had many suspects throughout the years, but they've never caught the person. It's such a sad story. Always stayed with me. Me being a local boy here, and her being, roughly my age. It was creepy, man, when you find out someone was murdered and sexually assaulted, and then it's unsolved, and then it was in the broad daylight. It's just odd that they still can't get any friggin' answers about this case. And I really feel like if we keep talking about it, eventually someone's going to say something. Somebody knows something in this area. I feel that with every fiber in my bone, that somebody knows something in this area. And it just sucks that someone got away with this murder. So I'd like to always keep this case in the news, in the public eye. If you guys could share this, keep it out there. And that goes for any unsolved murder or case. Those cases, not to sound pandering to the audience, but those are rough, man. Those really do pull up my heart and my spirit. I can't imagine having a sister or a mom or a dad being murdered and never having an answer. It would screw me up for life. So let's keep that case in the public eye. Next week, we will put another case out there. And again, if you guys have any information about that case, let the authorities know or let us know.
I totally agree.
On that?
In addition to no justice being served, I think for the grieving loved ones, it hurts having no closure. Like that's a big unclosed feedback loop, and like that's really hard for the grieving moving on process. It's horrible.
It really is. My heart goes out to him, honestly. Vicky, here's a ghost email someone had. We need your expertise. Vicky, I have a question for you. Does something like a global pandemic change how ghost and spirit interact with society? Has the pandemic changed the way ghosts interact? Thanks, Ralph.
Well, it depends on what aspect of the pandemic you're addressing. Number one, more people may have noticed activity because they're home more. So they might be a little more conscious of things that are going on. If during a pandemic, you have a lot of negative feelings, then you're going to have negative energies or spirits interacting more. And it's going to spark more negative and more negative. By a byproduct, if you have more positive, you're going to have more positive spirit interaction. So yes, I believe that whatever condition the human and the emotions that we're going through during a pandemic can definitely be fed upon or heightened by spirit activity.
Is a ghost and a guardian angel the same thing?
No, and guardian angel, if you're really talking about an angel is a being that never had a human body. A ghost is someone who lived here on this planet and passed, and now they're a spirit and they're on the other side. So some people can have a ghost or a spirit who is guarding them, and you could call that a guardian angel. But if you're using the term angel in its purest form, then it's something that never walked this planet in human form.
Do we ever get in a situation where you have a guardian angel? Okay, we'll use Birdie as an example. We have a guardian angel come down to help her out. And this guardian angel is ready to make her life just king shit of F Mountain. But we also have this ghost that thinks they know what's best for Birdie. Now we've got a bit of a kind of like a dentist versus dental hygienist kind of a thing, kind of a power struggle. Do you ever see that in the ghost world?
I've seen two human spirits battling it out for certain people. But again, if you're using the term angel, it's no contest who's going to win that one.
You would hope a guardian angel is not going to be so petty to argue with a ghost, right?
Yeah. That's not happening. But I have actually seen spirits going and fighting each other for certain things.
Dang. Cat fight?
Yeah.
That was inappropriate. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry. I keep on seeing double 69s.
Oh no.
Did you guys see this story? Some dude found shrimp tails in his Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay. Did this cat put them in there, Denny's?
So there's two theories. You either put it in there for the social media post, or they were saying, I think Cinnamon Toast released the thing that in the corners of the machinery, sometimes the Cinnamon Toast powder gets stuck and then it clumps together and it comes out into compressed like shapes.
So it turns into shrimp tails?
So it looked like two shrimp tails. It's just compressed powdered toast.
That is the best you can do, CTC. That sounds like some bullshit spin right there. They were shrimp tails.
Well, so they said that would be the only way that it would be in their factory. They said otherwise, the guy just took picture of shrimp tails in his cereal.
Maybe some person was eating shrimp that day and like they accidentally like knocked some of their lunch into like the machine.
That's my point.
It could happen.
How do we know? Okay, let's say Beckett loves almonds. He's always buying almonds. How does he know one day some dude isn't just kind of off his rocker that day and starts trimming his beard over the almonds and hair shavings go into the almonds and then that gets thrown out there? We have no idea what this shit's going on out there.
I do like almonds.
I do too. Very expensive, but very good.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can rest assured that you eat tons of bugs each year, just from like even at bread, just from the machinery that collects the wheat is chopping up the heck out of bugs. So
would you want to know all of the weird shit you're eating, Vicky?
Ignorance is bliss. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you? That's definitely a true statement because I remember eating a delicious cheeseburger from a restaurant that that this guy was scratching his area and then served the food. And then I ate the food and did not know he scratched the area until someone told me after the fact that I ate it. It was delicious before I knew and then horrible after I knew. Isn't that weird? Just what the thought process, what it does.
Oh, it only takes once and then you forever think it's going to happen again.
Yeah. I always think that with guys, like I don't think guys wash their hands as often as people want them to, like when they use the restroom. And I'm always thinking like when they make something, did you wash your hands? Yeah. Like men, like when they go urinate in the bathroom, I don't think they wash their hand as much as they should. So I'm always like,
I'm
What are they-
compulsive. I wash my hands every 25 minutes.
Damn, Bernie turned this into a sex scene.
Ah,
no, I'm just saying as a teacher, like I just know I'm always like, when I was teaching elementary school, I would see little boys walk out of the bathroom all the time without washing their hands. So I'm like,
I
God.
I think I've talked to Jaybird about this. I'm actually a proponent of washing your hands before you pee. Because if I'm touching a railing, I'm doing other stuff, whatever, and then I got to go unzip, like my hands better be clean. So maybe I should wash my hands before and after all the time. Maybe everyone should do that. But I think that there's a strong case to be made to wash your hands before you go to the bathroom if you're a guy.
I'll tell you what keeps me up at night. You go pee at the urinal, and then you go to wash your hands. You turn on the sink. You're basically touching dick sink.
yeah.
Keeps me up at night.
It's so true.
You got to open it up with your elbow. You got to try to turn it on with your elbow. It's
But then you have dick elbow. You have dick elbow, and then what are you doing during Corona? You're pumping everyone with your elbow, man.
Oh, it's dick corona everywhere.
Public bathrooms skeeve me out so bad.
Oh, they're rough.
The stuff you see, you're like, how did this happen? Like you'll go to the movies and you'll just be like, not this stall, not this stall. And I'm like, who did this? Like,
If you have to go poop at a gas station and you're actually doing that, everything in your life has gone so wrong in that just whatever led up to that, it's all gone to shit, literally.
oh,
Well, that's actually a good point, Brittany, because then I would make a case that guys are more sanitary because when we go to pee, we don't have to touch anything.
you what?
When
You
we
don't
go
have-
to pee, we don't have to touch anything in the public bathroom.
Yeah.
Girls do.
yeah. Oh, you mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think, I know you guys are gentlemen, but when you guys use the bathroom, do you see a lot of guys wash their hands?
Depends where you are. If
Yeah, it just depends.
If it's late night at a bar or it's the fourth quarter of a football game, no
No.
hands are getting washed. But
Dick
if you're
hands.
at the airport or getting a drink at a nice restaurant, yeah, everyone's washing their hands for
Well, dick hands is a terrible issue, but not as prevalent as dick sink.
sure. It could be anything. It could be poop sink, dick sink. It could be everything.
Oh,
The only thing grosser than a gas station bathroom is a radio station bathroom.
The only thing grosser than a gas station bathroom is the key on a hanger you have to walk.
Oh,
with.
that's the worst thing.
That's the worst.
You guys,
That's how you get corona.
it's 2021. You mean to tell me we can't come up with something better than a piss block?
I think they do that as punishment so no one uses their bathroom.
Yeah. I think
They give you a wooden block that you know is soaked in urine.
yeah, it's disgusting.
oh, it smells like
Oh.
it too.
I feel like it's some of the most unhealthiest urine throughout the states. It always feels like it's just such an unhealthy block of wood.
Ugh.
Let's move on. We're grossing out the people. I do want to delve into something a little bit deeper than pissing at the gas station.
Dick sink.
Basically, I can't pull up the email for some reason, but it was basically saying, asking me my perspective on somebody, a human dying versus an animal dying. This person had some guilty feelings. Their mother had passed away about 5 months ago, and then their dog passed away about a month ago. And they said they were taking their dog harder than their mother, and they wanted to know if that was normal. That was a common kind of a thing. And I did want to get everyone's perspective on that, because I do think it is a different thing. Just going through it pretty recently with Aunt Anne, who I was very close with, and then having Chewy die a couple months ago, it is a very different kind of loss. And I know for me, I love Aunt Anne so much, and I absolutely miss Aunt Anne. And it was very sad but I had a different kind of depression and sadness and emptiness, which I still have for Chewy. And it's something that it hit me. It knocked my dick in the dirt. And I know, Beckett, you recently lost a dog, and I know you've lost some people in your life. Can you give us some perspective of what you think?
Yeah, there's different kinds of love and different kinds of caring for different people, and I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. It's fine to have that. I think that the difference with dogs is, it starts to feel like a kid, and I think it's unnatural for humans to bury kids. It's unnatural. You hear that when someone actually loses an actual kid. When you have a older parent or loved one or grandparent and they lived a relatively quality life, it feels a little different and it hits a little different than when you lose a living being that's been in your bed, in your home, that you've been giving insulin shots to, that you've been caring for, you held their paw during end of life and like all of that. It hits different. And again, I think it's unhealthy, in my humble opinion, to compare because one's not better or worse than the other. I just think that it's a different kind of mourning, and that's okay. And
that's such a great point. Don't get caught up in definitions and this versus that. It's just different, and it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, you talk about the insulin shots, all those intimate moments that I had with Chewy, that all was a part of the mourning and the loss. I mean, every day at 3 p.m., I get a sense of sadness because I know that's when I feed him. That's when I fed him.
Yeah.
So it was different. It is different because I think you do have more of an intimate relationship, like you're talking about, a caregiver. And when your parents get older and they pass away, as sad as that is, and it sucks. No one wants to have their parents die. Deep down, we do know that's the circle of life. It's the process of life. When your parents get older, they do pass on. Creatures like a pet, it is like a child.
Yeah.
Vicky, any thoughts?
Well, I absolutely agree with Ryan. You should never compare because regardless of how we feel about our pets and how close we are, they are still not humans. So if you want to compare your level of loss, you're comparing apples to oranges. So you should never in life compare apples to oranges and think that you're going to come to some kind of equation. So both of them are unique, your feelings for your pets and your feelings for the human beings in your life. And that person should never, ever feel any kind of guilt in regards to thinking that one, they're completely different.
Yeah.
So you don't have the same level.
And that's a great point. And death, when you lose somebody or anything that you love, it plays a lot of weird games with your mind. You go back in time. Should I? Could I? There's a lot of questions you ask yourself. And the one thing I would say to the person that emailed in, be kind to yourself. You went through you lost your mom and your dog. That's a lot of loss. For a lot of people, you feel better in your life, but you don't get over the loss of a loved one. You still, they live inside your heart. Those are emotions that will always come out of you. You just deal with it better as time goes on. Time is your friend. And I always say this, stay busy with a hobby you enjoy. Stay creative. That's a good thing for your mind. It does help with sorrow.
Yeah.
Anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think too that I would be curious because I don't think any one of us have lost, like a spouse or someone or like a relationship, but your pets have been with you like every day. They're there when you're upset, when you're angry, when you cry, and they're there just to love you. And I feel like when that's gone out of your life, that almost hits you a lot differently than maybe, not to say that any human dying wouldn't be sad, but I wonder if it would be similar to like if you had a spouse for a long time and then you just lose them. I think that sudden and drastic change to your own personal life and every day, I feel can hit you a lot harder sometimes than if you lost, someone else per se.
Yeah, it was definitely a different level of sadness and depression / mourning than an older person in your family. Denny, why don't you wrap this up with your wise. By the way, Denny's, is that a new shirt?
I figure it's only a matter of time until you said that. Yeah, I think death of animals is tricky for people because you have the communication barrier. You feel like you can't get that closure. So I think that makes it tougher for people to deal with animal deaths, as well as, like you said, you were the caretaker of Chewy. So, I mean, you were putting time into the animal. So like Brittany said, you're breaking your old routine. So that's going to bring acknowledgement to it. I think all those things during a fragile time like that just all play on your mind. And like you said, I don't think it ever gets better. I think you just get better at dealing with it.
That's a great point, Peace Train. It doesn't ever get better, but you do get better at dealing with that. I mean, losing anything you care about, I don't know if it's ever going to be a cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
Let's wrap up this depressing shit and turn it into a more of a positive. Let's play a round of which is worse. And then that'll be our podcast for this evening. All right, Vicky, you're going first. Which would be worse? Being thrown in prison while visiting a third world country, or being violently thrown in a trunk while walking down a familiar street you know? Now, really think about that for a second, because both got its own good and bad points.
Is it a male or a female prison?
It's for you. We'll do like a cage heat kind of a thing. It's all female. We'll make it hot.
I think if I were thrown into a prison, at least I'd be able to see and know what was happening. If I'm thrown in a trunk, I have all of that going through my mind. I have no idea what the outcome's going to be. So I'm going to say it's worse to be thrown in that trunk and not know anything.
Okay, just keep in mind, in this prison, there are hungry rats that haven't eaten in a while, definitely carrying scurvy, roaches galore. There's a language barrier, a lot of yelling. There's guns involved. There's confusion, but you're sticking with it. All right.
Yeah, I don't want to be in that trunk.
Yeah. They say once you're in the trunk,
You're in the.
Not good.
what Fergie?
I was trying to make a rhyme. I don't know. You're in the bunk.
I was going to try to make it rhyme too. And it
You're in
doesn't
the
work.
bunk. Yeah, the dump. I don't know.
Becky, what are you picking?
Vicky sold me on the jail. I think I'm going third world prison for sure. There's too many question marks in a trunk. Unless it's a hot teacher, I think I'm going third world prison.
Denny's.
So the trunk, you don't know where you're going. At least prison, you can just do your time. A third world one sucks. I don't know if you saw Broke Down Palace,
I
but
did.
with Claire Danes, and yeah, that one's
That's
rough.
exactly where you're going. You're going to a broke down palace jail.
I mean, that's a rough jail. I still pick jail because at least they have to be semi-humane.
But you don't know if it's life in prison or not. No, and humane. Oh, yeah. Tell yourself that, sweet cheeks.
Well, if I'm getting thrown in a trunk, most likely it's going to end bad.
I'm going to tell you guys after Brittany gives her answer. I'm going to tell you why you all are wrong. All right, Brittany.
I actually was going to choose trunk because I'd rather just go for it. Like,
So it'd be better for you to be in the trunk.
yeah, I would just kind of, I don't know. Maybe I would do Muay Thai or something on them. I would risk it.
Brittany gets it. You are stuck in a third world prison. You don't know when you're leaving. You're probably there for life. You got roaches, you got rats that are hungry. At least in the trunk, you have a shot of getting away. Third world prison, you're stuck there. It's trunk all day long. Beckett, Vicky, Denny's are wrong. Brittany and Jaybird nailed it. Yeah.
Now, if it was you that was pushing for the other, you'd put all kinds of creepy crawlies and all that other stuff in that trunk with us. You only put that in the prison because you disagreed with us.
No, you know what? I will raise you
Vicky's on to you.
aggressive centipedes into the trunk, and they're hungry.
Oh boy. I feel like it would be worse if it was going to be like a hostile situation. You're in the trunk
Yeah.
and now they're going to torture you slowly. Like that was the first thought that came to my mind. Like that would be the worst case scenario for me. Because at least if they kill me, it's quick.
Okay, so you want a torture question then, Brittany? I got you.
Oh God, here we go.
Okay. Which is worse then? chained to a wall 8 hours a day while being tickled with dead people's limbs, or you must always sleep spooning with a corpse, but you get Sundays off. So anytime you're sleeping, you're snuggling a corpse, but Sundays you get off.
Does it smell?
Terribly, like death. And all of your worst nightmares.
Does it eventually become a skeleton?
No, constantly in corpse state. That's your life now. I like how y'all are thinking about this. This is good.
I guess I would get used to the corpse and I would celebrate every Sunday.
So at least Sunday you have a day off.
Yeah,
You
8 days.
keep it away for at least a day. The one thing I'd say about the 8 hours a day, you do have a day, like after your 8 hours, you're off. So you do have time in the day to do stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Denny's, what are you going with?
When I nap, do I still have to snuggle?
Oh yeah, as soon as you go
All right,
up,
well then I'm doing corpse.
it's corpse time.
I'll do the corpse.
That's the worst one.
No, that's the one I would pick to sleep with the corpse. That one's way better than the other one.
You would have great abs though if you were tickled for 8 hours every day. You would just be laughing so much. You would have a 6-pack.
Yeah.
I mean, so we know what Beckett's picking.
I've slept with people that just laid there. I'd definitely go with corpse.
I think I'm going corpse. No, I'm going chained. I'm going tickle my ass. Tickle me.
8 hours is a long
8
time.
hours, Monday through Friday. Weekends off.
Yeah, but I mean, I sleep for like 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. So I mean, that's all I got to deal with each night, and then I have Sundays off.
To the person who just Twittered, messaged me saying this is the dumbest question ever and dumbest topic. Bitch, you don't belong in this room then. This is weird and whatever. We get weird here. Be gone. We don't want your ass. Be gone, bitch.
Ooh.
All right, let's see here. Which is worse, Vicky? Walking through a pit full of cobras or taking a bath full of brown recluse spiders?
Oh, the snakes are way worse. I don't have a spider phobia, even though those could kill me. The cobras could kill me and they disgust me. So the cobras are way worse.
Wow, they're worse for you. We know what bitch ass Denny's gonna pick.
I'm definitely picking cobras.
Cobra
See,
Kai.
I'm not afraid of snakes at all. Like they don't even do
Really?
anything. Yeah, it's weird.
That's an interesting comment. Okay, you guys all heard that, right? Denny says, I'm not afraid of snakes at all. I'd like to put that to the challenge.
Well, so if you get a poisonous one that's gonna bite me, yeah, that's gonna hurt. But I have no fear of snakes. I can stand right next to them. They don't actually scare me. Spiders, though, I do not like at all.
Especially when spiders have that beard on them. They got the fur.
Ugh.
Oh, the back fur, that's rough.
They're like,
Well, the weirdest one's the one in the spinning one, the one that does cartwheels in the desert. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's so big and it's hard to travel in the soft shifting sands that it's adapted to cartwheeling. That's how it travels.
So that, to me, that's what I picture. Like right when you walk into hell, you see those spiders just at your feet going at you. That's when you know you didn't make it to the good side.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, man. I hope,
These spiders don't scare me or creep me out at all. Like I will save a spider. I will go out of my way to save a spider.
Hell no.
They just don't bother me at all.
bathtub of brown recluse.
oh,
Yeah, look at this, Denny's.
oh
Well,
no.
I'm the one-
Why
I'm
are
the-
we doing this?
I'm the one that pulled it up. Look at this horrifying thing.
Oh my God. Why are we watching this?
Because if that was coming at you, you'd be terrified.
It looks kind of graceful.
We are now
Oh.
watching this tumbling spider go down the sand, and it's nothing short of horrific.
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. That thing's terrifying.
Oh my God.
I mean, that thing
No.
sprints like a damn racer.
Dude, there's even bigger ones than that one out in the desert. It's rough out there.
Ugh.
Gosh. All right, and our last question of the night. You wake up and a dirty looking hand. Okay, these are the two that, which one's worse? You wake up and a dirty looking hand has grown from your taint, or you wake up and you realize your butthole has moved to where your nipples are, giving you two buttholes. Dual
Do they-
butthole.
Do they both function?
Yes, they're very
Oh God.
they're active.
What? So does your nipple now in your anus?
You don't have like your cheeks are now just skin, and now your nipples are two buttholes. But you can't see them. You can cover them up with a brassiere.
All right.
Can I still have sex with the hand out of my taint?
Oh no! Some would even argue that it's the best sex of your life.
It wouldn't get in the way of things, you don't think?
I think it would, but I think you have to adapt.
That's prostate stimulation right there. Win-win.
Yeah, I hear you.
Win-win. All right, so Beckett's in the butt stuff, so he's going with hand.
It's a handy.
I would say I'd rather have the hand for my taint down there.
And
Yeah.
do I have control over the hand?
No, absolutely not.
It's just a random stranger, like a possessed hand.
There'll be times where you're just chilling and like playing video games, and you just feel something knuckle bump your sack.
Or I hear knocking, and I'm like, "What is that?"
That's fun.
Oh man, that's rough. I don't know. I think I do the other one.
You do butthole? You do butthole?
I flip them, man. I flip them and I switch my diet up.
To what?
Jen.
Pure liquid.
Well, what if that's what's coming out? That's even worse. I'd make.
That'll be quick.
Vicky, what's your answer?
Oh, there's no way that I'm going with double buttholes. No.
Oh.
I'm so with Vicky on this one, man. Double buttholes, dog. It's terrible.
Dude, I'll poop so fast.
Oh, Denny's is so off on this one.
You have IBS too. You would just be pooping.
I'd get like a diaper bra.
Dude, you'd have to lay down on a toilet. Think about that.
What's worse than what's
Be
worse
rough.
than one case of IBS?
Double.
Double. 2 cases. All right. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap this crazy train up. It is good to be back, everybody. I'm so glad to see everyone, and I miss you all. I love you guys very much, and thank you to the chat room and all the weirdos that are back. We are going to do our dangest to get back in person and doing the show where we can see each other. I understand that it's clunky that we talk over each other. You don't got to send me no emails about that. We know we're working on that. When we get back in person, it's going to be just sweet, like a tainted butthole.
Double butthole.
Double.
Double butthole. All right, Denny's, you got anything to add on?
Should they bring back Jinko jeans? What do you guys think? Remember those? The really
No.
big baggy jeans? I think they're gonna make a comeback. That's why I said that. We'll see. Hold me to that.
Did you just take a dab real quick? I didn't see it.
That's what I'm gonna be doing in about 4 minutes here.
Nobody does that. Birdie, what do you got? Wrap us up.
Wrap you guys up.
I'm gonna ask everybody to wrap us up, but you wrap us up too.
All right. I mean, I do Twitch if everyone wants to follow me. I'm Cafe Sparrow, and yeah, that's it for me.
Twitch, I love it. And Vicky, Vicky, by the way, quick question: people are constantly asking me, "Are you doing readings still?"
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. And are you cool with whoever shares and gets us the most attention on social media through this week? Are you cool with giving them a free reading?
Absolutely.
I love it. That's the Weird and Whatever Spirit Award. The person that's sharing our shit and interacting and getting it out there, they are going to get a free reading from Vicky. I love that.
And don't forget to hit like.
Yeah,
Like
like, comment, subscribe. Even if you hate us, write it down so we can dox your ass. Beckett, what do you got?
You're probably gonna make fun of me, but I'll go for it anyways. So April 26th, Supermoon for a dog rescue that's near and dear to my heart. It's called Dan and Ronnie's Rescue. There's a story about the guys on Amazon Prime called Life in the Doghouse. They do amazing work. We're running the Grand Canyon, one side to the other and back, 48-miler. I've been training for it pretty hard. So I'm doing it to raise money. People can donate like a flat fee or per mile. So I won't go on about it, but I'll on my social media, I'll keep posting about it and get information. It's a amazing dog rescue. They do amazing things.
I love it. extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. I love that. Very good. Okay, weirdos. Thank you guys for the support. You guys are awesome for watching us. We love you all and
Bigfoot is real.